I want to actually switch to a slight focus around the more senior members of your team that are kind of, in a lot of ways, they're the ones that are bringing those folks into the fold, right? And what, if any, onboarding or documentation of sorts did you create or have to create for them so that they felt ready, that they were put in a situation where they didn't feel like it was like, I'm not ready for this. Like, great, we're bringing on interns, but like, I have no idea what to do. Yeah, anything in that vein?
Yeah, we didn't actually create anything standardized like that. We did do a lot of coaching. So first we asked for people to volunteer, does anybody want to take on interns? Do you feel like you're there? And, we got a couple people there. But then for anyone who was kind of on the fence, we would bring them in and coach them how to think about breaking out your work to less complex issues, which helped a lot as well for sprint planning and things like that. So another knock-on benefit. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we basically that was our way of helping to level up seniors as well. So
Yeah. Samantha, I want to turn it over to you for a second. So as the CEO of the organization, where I would imagine that a lot of your focus is in very big picture thinking and like where some of the implementation details are kind of being pushed down to the team, and you're focusing on the future here, right? Like where are we going? How are we going to realize this vision? How do you see the role of kind of less experienced people playing a role in the team as a whole? I mean, to be very open about it, and if you would, like, do you, where it's classified as any form of liability in your mind? Because I've heard that a lot from CEOs. Like, if I've got the money, I want to spend it on the kind of surefire win. And so again, I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
But as a CEO, like, how do you negotiate that sense of risk in your mind? Like, is it a risk, or do you see it as an asset only, or like, where does your brain go with that?
Yeah, I would say it's actually quite the opposite for me personally. Like, we have a lot of junior talent on our team that we've been able to develop into senior roles across both like engineering and sales and marketing and really operations. Like anything that we're touching, I think it's just kind of the nature of a startup organization that you're coming in and we're in a new industry and we're building a new product and everybody's kind of in this learning curve at the same time. So having people that are really excited to learn, ironic, called learn, I think is always like a great spot to be starting from. And I agree with everything that was said about having documentation and having smooth onboarding. But I also think having an onboarding as to the why behind what we're doing with the interns who are joining and kind of like speaking to the broader intent of the product really early on, even if it's like a shorter stint that we're working on it, the why is what kind of motivates that engagement over time, I think. So that's a part of our onboarding process. And then also like kind of participatory interviewing of what are you looking to learn while you're here? And then how can we integrate that into the scope of work that we have and make sure we're giving something that's beneficial?
Yeah, I love that about asking them what are you wanting out of this? It's interesting that I was speaking with a bunch of folks that wasn't even early career folks, but they were in career transition and they were moving to a different company. And one of their great worries was the company I'm with are people I know with attitudes I know, positive and negative. Like, I feel like they know me. There's just aspects of my desire that is changing. And so I want to move on to something else. And there was this big fear around, well, what if they don't know what I want and it doesn't align? And the simple answer, my response was, well, let them know. Like, what's the thing that you are wanting to get out of it from the beginning? And I love that you brought that up, that like more proactively asking the question, like, well, what's your objective in this? But also conveying, let's hope it's not out of alignment with the why of doing it in the first place, so that we can make sure those two are working together. So that's fantastic. I really appreciate that.